What's going on, family? My name is DeAngelo Watson, CEO and founder of FFB Enterprises. And today I'll be showing you guys how you can structure your credit and leverage it to start up a business. So have you ever thought about how you can leverage your credit to improve your lifestyle and fund your business? I know before I understood the power of credit, I thought I needed a lot of money to jumpstart my business. So getting this information really helped me. So now it's time for me to pay it forward and help you guys. My training is for you if you want to get more information on structuring your personal credit to improve your lifestyle. So that could be, buying a house, buying a car, or whatnot. If you want to start a business or you already have a business established and you want to get business funding. So whether you need business funding or personal funding, this training is for you. So who am I? Who is DeAngelo? I'm a 29-year-old North Carolina native. I graduated in 2015 from North Carolina A&T, Aggie Pride, for those that know. Got my bachelor's in computer science. I'm also an IT project manager, so I still have a 9-to-5 while managing my business, FFB Enterprises. And we've been able to secure over $3 million in credit funding for our clients just last year alone. So some cold hard facts that my program helps solve. Many businesses fail due to a lack of capital, lack of direction, and just different market changes. 1 in 5 people have at least one error on their credit reports. Believe it or not, 55% of Americans have less than a 740 credit score. And then 9% of US earners make more than $100,000. So contrary to what you see on the internet, there's only about 10% of people in America that make more than $100,000. And then about half of Americans have $5,000 or less in savings. So before we get on the offense and start talking about credit leverage and starting businesses, let's talk about defense a little bit. So I want to cover budgeting briefly. It's the cornerstone of becoming what I call financially fit. So you want to have a budget, write it down. You just want to know what your income and your expenses are so you can determine your cash flow. Your cash flow can determine, what you can save and invest in down the line. So you want to know your fixed and variable expenses. Put yourself on a weekly spending limit too. So whether it's like $500, $1,000 a week, put yourself on the spending limit. Try to track your expenses 2 to 3 times a week. I know it may be hard, working and, the day-to-day of life. But try to do that a couple times a week just to see where you stand financially. And then last but not least, the net worth. Our goal is to grow our net worth over time. So you want to be able to assess your assets and your liabilities. So you want to be able to see, what your assets are and your liabilities. For those that don't know, assets are, cash accounts, investment accounts, businesses, and then your liabilities are the debts behind those things. So mortgages, car loans, business loans, and things of that nature. So you take your assets, subtract it by your liabilities, and that's how you calculate your net worth. So after budgeting, you want to start managing your money. So now you got an idea of your cash flow. It's time to start managing your money a little better. You want to get up to 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in an emergency savings account. And then when it comes to managing your money, I go by what's called the 50-40-10 rule. You only spend half of your income on expenses, 40% on saving, investing, and debt management, and then 10% for discretionary. So that's, just random things that you like to do. You also want to have a separate savings account for other things like house down payment, future vacation, car down payment, although I don't really recommend that if you got good credit. And then you want to use your excess funds to pay down debt, because at the end of the day, even though I'm teaching you guys how to leverage your credit, you want to pay down as much debt as possible, especially consumer debt, like car loans and mortgages, credit card debt, things of that nature. And then last but not least, don't save your money just for the sake of saving, because you won't be motivated at all. You'll be looking at your account like, yeah, I got, $10,000 in there, but what am I really saving to, especially once you pass your 3 to 6 month emergency savings fund. So that's a little bit of defense. Now it's time to play offense. So when it comes to your credit report, number one, you want to know how to read it. So you have 3 major credit reporting agencies: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You can go to annualcreditreport.com and get your free credit reports. I think you could do it like every week. So you want to be able to pull your report. You want to read it, look at the names, addresses, employers, phone numbers, and you can actually call the bureaus or write letters to dispute any inaccurate personal information. You also want to know like your revolving and your installment credit accounts. You want to know the differences. So credit cards and lines of credit, those are what's called revolving credit. Then you have your installment credit, which are loans. So that could be mortgages, auto loans, personal loans, student loans. Those are what's classified as installment credit. And then last but not least, your hard inquiries. So anytime you apply for credit, the lender will pull your credit to see, if you're worthy to get approved. So hard inquiries, they come from, asking for more credit. Now, when it comes to structuring your credit report, this is one of the most important things you want to understand. So on the right-hand side, you'll see a screenshot of different credit factors. And you can get this from Credit Karma by either clicking on your Equifax or TransUnion score, and you'll see all of these credit factors. So you want to have 100% on-time payments. Even if you miss one payment, that could drop your score down 50 to 60 points. So you want to make sure, even if you're not paying the debt off, like credit card debt off in full, at least make the minimum payment so that you don't get a late payment on your report. And usually the lenders, they'll give you like 30 days past your due date to make the payment before they actually report it on your credit. But you don't want it to get to that point, So just make sure you make your payments on time. Credit card usage, keep that below 10%. So that doesn't mean only use 10% of your credit cards. You can actually max your credit cards out, spend as much as you want, but by your due date and your statement date, you want to have the balance at 10% or below of your credit limit. So if your limit is $1,000, you can use $1,000, but you want to pay it down to $100 by your due date and statement date. I hope that makes sense. And then you want to remove all derogatory marks. These are collection accounts, charged off accounts, evictions, bankruptcies, things of that nature. You want to get those removed off your credit report so your score will go up. Credit age. You want to be at least 3 to 4 years with your credit age. This is an average of your old accounts, your new accounts. Total accounts. You want to have at least 5 open primary accounts that are in good standing. So these could be a mix of credit cards, loans, lines of credit, credit building accounts, things of that nature. You want to have at least 5 of them. And before doing funding, you want to make sure those accounts are at least a year or 2 old. And then last but not least, hard inquiries. You don't want to have any more than 3 or 4 hard inquiries within the past, I would say like 3 to 6 months. So you want to keep those inquiries at a minimum. You don't want to look like you desperate and thirsty for credit. So now when it comes to removing negative items, there's 5 main methods I recommend when it comes to removing your negative items. And when it comes to your negative items, you can dispute anything on your credit report as long as it's inaccurate. So like pretty much if you have, let's say you have an account that has different account numbers, or it may have a different date open or a different balance reporting, you can compare it across all 3 bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And if it's inaccurate, that can be your leverage to get those accounts removed. So when it comes to removing your negative accounts, you can send dispute letters directly to the creditors. So these are the companies that you opened up the credit account with. You can send letters directly to the credit bureaus. So you can send them directly to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. The Better Business Bureau. So let's say you have some collection accounts, you might have a late payment. You can actually find that creditor on the Better Business Bureau, and you can file a complaint against the creditor. And sometimes this will help to remove the account off of your credit report. So just by filing the Better Business Bureau complaint, it can help remove the account off your credit profile. Fourth method, this is one of the major gems a lot of people don't really know about. It's the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So the CFPB, they actually govern the major credit bureaus. So they govern Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So let's say you're sending letters out, right? And TransUnion, Experian, Equifax, they're saying, hey, we see you sending these letters out. Good job. And that's it. They're not really acknowledging your disputes. You can file a complaint against the credit bureaus with the CFPB, basically saying, hey, I sent these letters out. These guys aren't really complying or acknowledging my disputes. Can you guys help me out? And a lot of times this will get you some results by filing these complaints. Last but not least, our fifth method that we use is the Federal Trade Commission FTC method. So with the FTC, if let's say back in the day, your parents might have opened a phone bill or TV account in your name, never paid it. Now you have this collection on your credit report for something that you didn't even open up. You can actually go to identitytheft.gov, which is the FTC website, and you can file an FTC report, download the FTC report, and send it along with the basic dispute letter to the credit bureaus, and it'll get that collection account removed. So if you have any collection accounts, you can use the FTC method to get those accounts removed off your credit profile. So you can do you can do this step and you can fix your credit at the same time. I highly recommend doing that congruently, together. But building your credit report. So remember, I said you need at least 5 accounts that are at least a year or 2 old. So just right here alone, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 7 accounts. Well, actually 6 accounts that you can use to build your credit profile out. So the first 3 are what's called fintech, financial tech lenders. So with these companies, they don't pull your credit. You can just open it up. A lot of them have an app, so you can go search Kikoff, Self, Grain, and you can add these credit building accounts to your profile. And you want to keep them in good standing for a year or 2. And you also want to make sure you have a couple of other accounts from banks or credit unions. So you could get like a secure bank credit loan or a secure credit card. So you can go to your local credit union, and basically secure means you're putting money up to secure the limit, and you could get you can get a loan. So basically you give the credit union or bank $500, and then they'll use that to give you a $500 loan or $500 credit card. So you keep those accounts in good standing for a year or 2. And then you also have rent reporting accounts. So you can actually report your rent, even if you don't stay in the apartment. So let's say you stay with somebody. If they're the owner of the home, you can go on RentReporters.com, list them. You can list the homeowner as the landlord, and then you can say, hey, I've been paying rent for the past 5 or 10 years, been paying $1,000, $2,000 a month. And then Rent Reporters will verify with the homeowner, and then you'll have a rent reporting account, which will show up as an installment account on your credit profile and help give you some credit age. Because when you're in the credit building stage, you basically have brand new credit. So the Rent Reporters will help you get some age on your credit profile. So let's say you get those 5 accounts. You get the Rent Reporters, that'll be a 6th account. And you keep those in good standing for at least a year. After that year, you'll want to add authorized user trade lines. So what authorized user trade lines are, they're pretty much when you get added as an authorized user to a credit card that's in good standing, and that's, has some age to it, I would recommend at least 10 years for these trade lines, so it can average out those 5 or 6 brand new accounts and get you close to 3 or 4 years with your credit age, and then you'll be ready to go get funding. So if you don't want to start up a business, you just want to get your credit structured so you can, get a house, get a car and whatnot, you don't have to set up an LLC. But for those who do want to set up an LLC, it's a few simple steps I recommend taking to set up your LLC properly so that you can get funding from the banks. Step number 1, you want to get a domain name. You can go to Google Domains and you can purchase a domain name for $12 a year. Pretty much your domain name is like your internet real estate. So you'll be using this domain name for your website URL, and you could also use it for your professional email address. So instead of having abcllc@gmail.com, when you purchase a domain name, you can do like info or you could do like info@abcllc.com. And then your website would be abcllc.com. So that's your domain name. You definitely want to get that, get the professional email. It looks good to the banks when you're applying for credit. Let me get some water, man. All right, so step 2, business address. You want to get a virtual business address. You can get these from ipostal1.com and Regus, Regus. So these are 2 companies that I use to get my virtual business addresses. You don't really want to use your personal address because anybody can look your business up on Google and find, information on there. I personally don't want people to know where I stay, so I use virtual business addresses. And these addresses, they range $10, $20, $30 a month. You want to get an address that when you search it on Google, a commercial building shows up instead of like a mail center or a shopping plaza. Third thing, you want to get a business phone number. You could get an 800 number from Freedom Voice for $10 a month. Highly recommend doing that. Or either you could get a free Google Voice number, anything but using your personal phone number. And then once you get those 3 things, you can also purchase, designate somebody to be a registered agent. So there's different companies online where you could search registered agents, and pretty much a registered agent is somebody who accepts any legal paperwork on behalf of your LLC. So once you get those 3 things, and then with the registered agent, you can designate yourself too as a registered agent. You don't have to pay anybody to do that. But once you get those things, you can go to your Secretary of State website, and then you can look for your articles of organization or incorporation form, complete that form. And usually it's a web-based form, or either it's a PDF that you'll have to upload, but you'll complete that with all of the information above. You submit it with payment, and usually within a week, you'll get your LLC registered, and then you're officially a homeowner. So you want to get that done. You want to get your operating agreement completed if you have partners. If it's just you, you don't necessarily need an operating agreement. And then you also want to get your EIN, your employer identification number. So your EIN is basically like your social security number for your business. You'll need this to open up business bank accounts and apply for business credit. So you want to make sure you get your EIN. It's completely free. I've seen people charging for EINs, which is crazy, but you could get that completely free from the irs.gov website. And then last but not least, you want to get your business bank accounts. I recommend getting at least 2. So you could go one with a big bank, and then you could go with a credit union for your other business bank account. So you get your LLC set up. Now you can go for funding. We could do personal funding or business funding. So if you're structuring your credit report and you hit that 1 to 2 year mark, I would recommend doing personal funding only. And you can do a mix of 0% interest credit cards, lines of credit, and loans. So with the lines of credit and loans, you'll typically need pay stubs for proof of income. But with the 0% interest credit cards and with regular credit cards, you don't need pay stubs. They'll go off of what's called stated income. But you have these three different types of credit products that we go after when it comes to funding. And let's say we go after 5 banks and we apply for a credit card and a line of credit. You may get, especially if you go to a credit union, you may get like 10 to 20,000 on the credit card and the line of credit. So that's 20 to 40,000 for one bank. So if we go to 4 more banks, we're looking at over $100,000 in funding. So it's definitely possible if you build up your credit report, you trust this process. It's definitely possible to get the funding. And then on the personal side, if you're not looking to start up your business, I still recommend getting 2 or 3 credit cards from credit unions because it helps beef up your profile. So whenever you want to get a car or a house, you look more attractive to the lenders. So now when it comes to pulling your cash off of your credit cards, and this is mainly for business owners that need cash. Like let's say they're doing a real estate deal and you have to present a cashier's check. You can't swipe a credit card. So here's some methods where you could pull the cash off of your credit cards. I would recommend doing this with the credit cards that are 0% interest. So you're not getting charged any fees if you're not paying back the credit cards in full every month. So we have manufacturer spending. So pretty much what this is, you go to a store, let's say you go to Sam's Club, you purchase some electronics for like $10,000, and then you return it, but you get the refund on your debit card. So now you got a $10,000 purchase on your credit card, but when you return the item, the money gets refunded on your debit card. So now you have $10,000 in the bank. So now you can, write your cashier's check, make whatever investment you need to make, and then pay the credit card back. Second method that I use is called basically is invoicing. So you can use PayPal invoice, you can use Stripe invoicing, whatever invoicing system you use. You can create an invoice to one of your other businesses or to somebody that you know, and then you can use your credit card to pay the invoice. So let's say you do a $5,000 invoice, you send it out and you get it back and you use your credit card, your interest-free credit card to pay the invoice. Now that $5,000 is in your Stripe or PayPal account, and then a few days later it gets transferred into your bank account. So that's another method that you can use to convert your credit cards into cash in your bank account. And then the third method is your Simon gift card. So if you go to simon.com, there's a bunch of retail outlets and malls that are actually owned by Simon. With these Simon-owned properties, you can go into the management office at these locations across the US and you can purchase, there's these great gift cards. You can purchase these gift cards. You could get $1,000 on each gift card. You can get 10 gift cards per day. So with these gift cards, you want to go to different grocery stores that will allow you to use a debit card to buy money orders. So you're going to purchase the gift cards using your credit card, get the Simon gift cards, find grocery stores that allow you to swipe your debit card to get money orders, and you're going to swipe the Simon gift card, get your money orders, and then you'll be able to deposit those into your bank account. So those are 3 methods I use to convert credit to cash so I can, make investments on different things. So once you get the money in your bank account, now you can, leverage the money to start up or fund your business. So there's a bunch of different businesses out there. I just named a few. You got trucking, Turo, car rentals. You got the real estate, Airbnbs. You can do trading. I don't really recommend using credit to trade. That's super high risk. Then you got e-commerce stores like Walmart, Amazon, Facebook, Shopify, those type of stores. You can use that to fund the inventory. You can use your credit to fund the inventory. or just any profitable business model. You want to make sure you know what the profit margins, the return on investment is for whatever business that you're getting into before you actually use your credit. Then you have different credit-based businesses. So like credit repair, the trade line. So when you're adding people as authorized users, you could charge a fee for that. You got your funding business. So helping people get funding, you could charge for that as well. And then you have the educational, mentorship, digital products piece. So you want to, help people do their own thing via education. So with that being said, I know I was long-winded. Are you guys ready to leverage your credit to improve your lifestyle and create income? I hope you answer yes, because if not, you shouldn't be on here. So I have two different programs. I have a blueprint funding program, and the criteria for this program, you have to have your LLC proper structure. You have to have your LLC properly structured. So you want to get your professional email, virtual business address, get your business bank account opened up. You want to have at least a 700 FICO score. The higher, the better. So if you could get to that 750 FICO range, you want to get up there. You want to have at least 2 to 3 personal credit cards that are at least a year old. And of course, the older, the better. And you want to have these credit cards paid off by the time we're ready to go for funding. Of course, you want to have no derogatory marks, so that's no collections, charged off accounts, things of that nature. If you are interested in the funding program, you want to see if you qualify, you can click the link below the video, or you can text the word funding to 201-559-8849. And if you feel like you're not ready for the funding program, or you just want to build your credit up so that you can improve your lifestyle, qualifications for the credit repair program. Number one, you got to have patience. So this is a process. It takes time, 3 to 9 month time frame. It's not going to happen overnight. So you kind of want to get that out of your head that is going to happen in 30, 60 days. During the process, you want to make sure you pay off or settle any debts that you have, so that even if we get accounts removed, if you don't settle the debts, especially collection accounts, they can come back on your credit. So you want to make sure you settle your debts during the process. And then when it comes to pricing, it's $200 to enroll, and then it's $100 a month after we get results. So we don't charge you anything outside the enrollment fee until we get results. If you're interested in the credit repair program, you can text credit to 201-559-8849, and we can hop on a discovery call. So some testimonials, just so you guys can see. Here's Landon. He was one of our credit repair clients. He graduated from the program. He lets you know, hey, they provided a professional service. He was ecstatic with the results. We removed medical bills, inquiries that was pulling down his credit, and his credit is clean now. Then we have Anthony Johnson. So he actually went through our Blueprint funding program. So he said we had great customer service. We kept him updated. If you're looking for the funding, credit repair, you're in good hands. And we actually got him $80,000 in funding for his investments. So if you guys are ready to structure your credit, leverage your credit, fund your business, and create wealth, you need to click the link below and book a discovery call with me or my team, man. I'm looking forward to working with you guys. Hope to see you guys on the other side. And as always, have a play for your money, family. Let's get it.